We're gonna do this one instead. Which that has all been happening on Twitter. So that's interesting. This has been I've been seeing this controversy for quite a bit. I've seen this controversy all over Twitter. So actually I can add a great deal of this, by the way. So yeah, the most controversial VTuber group by royalties here. It's about the VTards. Akemi, Sega Saturn, Nines, though Nines left the group officially. Nazi Miku. And also formerly known, and somebody else known as Shiro. Now, the group only consists of 3 people now. Anyways, we'll jump in. Wait, what? I didn't even read that. Hold up. Wait a minute.
So, VTuber.
Is it normal to fall in love? Fall in love to VTubers. Is it normal to fall in love to VTubers? Like, really fall in love? Like, you get jealous sometimes when she notices other fans, but not you. I know it may sound weird, and I might sound like some weird old guy, but I just fell in love with Ozaru Subaru since the first time I met her. Ever since then, she became a wallpaper, profile, etc. Sorry if that sounds creepy, weird. I think as a VTuber fan, you're probably pretty normal. So anyways, is what I'm doing normal? Am I being way too obsessed? Thank you. Yes, you are.
Yes, welcome back to the trough. I hope you aren't that malnourished. I think it's been around 2 months or something.
2 VTubers, should it be with VTubers? Yes, it should be with VTubers.
Since I last talked about a virtual 3D or 2D female. I say female because male VTubers are essentially, unfortunately, the support characters that have a single digit of screen time at this point, and the conclusion...
Wait, what? What?
The support...
Why are male VTubers incapable of reaching the same heights of popularity as their female counterparts? Don't get me wrong, I'm well aware of the exceptions such as Kazuha, but for the most part, male VTuber viewership never quite reaches the same level as the girls. Is there less interest in general for them? Yes. Yes, there is, because the vast majority of VTuber enjoyers are men. It's just simple as that. Is it due to lack of exposure? Also, yes. Is it because Sukuna already exists? I don't know. Here's Croc. Hi, Croc. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Simple. Demand. There's not enough demand from VTubers. Problem solved.
Characters that have a single digit of screen time at this point, and the conclusion of their character is getting ganked off camera. Once again, you can't name me 5 male VTubers in 10 seconds.
Me. Shoto. Something with B, I forgot the name, the first male VTuber. Regardless. Yeah. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Kenji. That's over.
Don't worry, I'm not waiting that long, I already know you can't name them. But that's not me discrediting their efforts, but compared to their female counterpart, for one reason...
Why is this sped up? I just realized this is sped up. Calm down, bro. And it even detected with speed up.
Reason or another, probably due to the dual-wielded howitzers most have equipped. That comes with the unfortunate side effect of a primary portion of your viewers testing the amount of friction they can generate.
Friction they can generate. Okay, fine, dear. Another one? Cockroach, bro. That's crazy. Cockroaches, but that's not a cricket. So that makes no sense.
From their cocktail sausage, whilst leveling up their one-handed skill.
Scarlet. Our first conversation in the stream is more of cream-filled donuts, or filling donuts with cream.
I'm probably developing a somewhat unhealthy parasocial relationship with said VTuber, only to be severely disappointed by the amount of times that one prophecy has come true, but yeah.
Wait, Shondo, this is a classic. This is a hood classic.
Severely disappointed by the amount of times that one...
This is a hood classic. Translation. A lot of indie VTuber Oshis have boyfriends. Their boyfriends are reading your love confessions. Indies do not have managers unless they are actually corporate and thus are not indie at all. Therefore, if a VTuber has a manager, that is the boyfriend.
Prophecy has come true, but yeah, most of the limelight tends to be on the female VTubers most of the time. However, despite only a short time ago being freshly introduced to this form of media, and initially think
Mari currently plays Pokemon XD.
thinking this would be a fad that quickly died out, before delving into the honor hole of hell and involuntarily being educated in all the eldritch horrors the VTubing community had to offer, I quite like VTubers now, even if saying that out loud shares the same feeling as consuming arsenic. I like VTubers and how far they've come from their early conception in the late 2010s. And this medium has been used as a vehicle for so many different unique avenues. Yeah.
And fun fact, when people say male VTubers aren't part of the space, here's something funny. The first male VTuber debuted around the same time as the first female VTuber. Anyways.
Of AI VTubers.
Can you be nice to me again?
Oh, Neuro-sama. Hi, Neuro-sama.
I liked it better when you were nice to me.
Well, that's a shame, because I'm not nice to you anymore. Nobody likes you anyway. Nobody likes you at all.
Fucking clanker. You have a range of VTubers.
Fucking clanker. Yes, that's some bad news. We got viewbotted again. Damn, bro's cooked.
That express themselves in their own art style and personality.
Whoever left the footprints behind was barefoot. Oh yeah. The prints are large and wide. Oh yeah. Perhaps indicating they were left by a man. Aww.
Your VTubers pushing the technological.
What the fuck? Women feet?
Logical boundaries and are constantly evolving, and then you have whatever the fuck this is.
Praise.
Chibidoki. Yeah, Chibidoki is a special case gremlin.
Wow, beautiful. Wow, guys. Maybe there is a purpose to life outside of jorking my penis to Judy Hop's scap.
Jorking your what to what? Judy Hops? Furry.
Wow. Jesus was right.
Even the French have their own VTuber now, and they play War Thunder. What a double negative. Yes, I was wrong about VTubers and
yeah, then absolute degenerate. Ryugaki is also degenerate. Sure, the girl is a dude. He used the AI voice changer. No, the girl is an AI. The turtle is an actual dude. He's the dude that programmed the AI. Neuro-sama is an AI.
Initially, they aren't a passing fad. They are certainly here to stay and are only going to grow as the years go on. With more
Outgrowing all the actual women. Outgrowing the actual women. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Personalities, capabilities, and quite possibly more controversies. As in this year alone, VTubing could not catch a break.
Yeah, Vishoujo fucking getting obliterated. Also, we finally can get rid of the saying, trust the talents. There is no trusting the talents. The talents are lying.
It was one discombobulation after another. The VTubing community is going through its own Horus heresy right now in terms of events. You had the whole Cinder situation, Gura graduating due to complications with her agency, which left her fans more upset.
And now streaming like an absolute moron, like crazy. Like the amount that she streams now is insane. I wonder why she does that now.
Than, I don't know, being time bomb trolled on COD Zombies, only for her to come back shortly after, and more recently the whole implosion of the VTubing agency VShoujo, one that was previously revered for being one of the best agencies that specialized in.
Well, it wasn't. At the end of the day, it's just a corporation. Corporation wants money. A corporation wants money. That's all there is.
VTubing related entertainment with a range of successful talent. But it turns out there were only a few expired NDAs away from the horrible truth of the agency being revealed. From improper management and fund management, especially with money raised for charities, to treating the talent themselves quite poorly, which led to the prompt mass.
And they even had creeps in there. And technically, if you want to put it like that, the creep hung around with Christian and the Sonichu medallion. So, what do we do now? Does the kill for Vishoujo go to the Sonichu medallion like it did for Mudahar and so on, so far and so on? I'm just questioning.
exodus of most of its talent, and the ultimate end to VShoujo, one of the few remaining bastions of the corporate VTubing world, and is another reminder that just because something looks highly functional and remarkable on the front, doesn't mean the same thing can be said from behind the scenes. As we've learned a number of times in the VTubing community alone, but this video isn't about VShoujo or a VTubing agency at all. It is more about a COD Clan-like group of VTubers that seem to have found their self.
Yes. Akimi, over here. I'm blocking her. Akimi. Nines, who's no longer part of the group because she was doxxed. Nazi Miku, who apparently is a dude as far as I'm aware. And Saturn, which is also cool. Terrible. Terrible what happened here.
Themselves in hot water, from simply the name of the group to the actions of the members, all of which after only formally existing for a few weeks now, and they have most certainly obtained the speedrunning world record for a number of potential career
I mean, they are known as the VTards.
ending controversies in such a short amount of time. But the one group I wanted to talk about today is the VTubing group VTards.
I'm a good little piggy who eats from
VTards. I still love the name.
a trough. Oink, oink, oink. I love my slop.
Now obviously naming your group VTards seemingly out of the gate would definitely expose you to some level of backlash. I personally think the word they are insinuating here has been so overused, I'm somewhat desensitized at this point. It just doesn't hold the same weight it did 10 years ago, at least in my opinion. I personally would be more...
It's retard is reduced to the same level as asshole. It literally is. Like, oh, this and that, you asshole. Oh, this and that, you retard. Like, it is just... That's why I'm using it. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
More offended if somebody called me a homo habilis, but the word obviously does have a history to it as well, and people do get offended when it is used. But simply just the name wasn't the only reason people's heads turned at the sight of this newly formed group. The group officially formed on July 9th, with 5 group members, and within the announcement tweet, they provide a short, basic description of their group, which was a female VTuber group currently comprised of 5 based anime girl VTubers who aren't afraid to speak their mind and go against what is deemed politically correct. Now, as I've said previously, politics is not my strong point. It's probably one of my lowest stats alongside
-1, cardio 3, endurance 3, charisma 5. I'd give him that, yeah. Intelligence 2. I'd put that high up a little bit, like a point. Agility 3, luck 3. I don't know if making videos shows a lot of luck. Anyways.
cardio, because fuck cardio, you can probably burn just as much calories weight training, and if not, fuck you anyway, I'm still not using the Stairmaster. But anyway, the definition of being politically correct was lost on me, but I quickly found out it basically meant to avoid being offensive in most ways. The more you know, I guess. But out of the gate, it would appear this group had the goal.
Spoiler alert, we are not politically correct here. I will say what I think. I will say what I think, and you will either leave or live with it.
Of being as unapologetic and honest to themselves as possible, but the reason this announcement seemed to turn a lot of heads and cause somewhat of a stir in the VTuber community, to the point where the tweet went viral, but not just because of the name of the group. It was down to some of the participants of the group and their activities. In hindsight, the first tweet was probably a warning. The first, probably most alarming feature of the group is the fact that one of them is a version of Hatsune Miku that self-identifies
Which is crazy. I don't agree with that at all. I'll be real. That is the one member where I'm like, hard. So for me, it's like, Miku is the weirdo here, clearly. Very clearly. I'm pretty neutral. I'm pretty neutral to Akimi. Sometimes I like her takes. Sometimes I can just shake my head. I'm fairly neutral. Saturn is cool. And Nines is definitely the sweetheart of the group. Which is probably why they doxed her. That is the only thing that makes sense.
as a member of a not-so-nice German party during the event of World War II, and I don't know if YouTube lets me say the word, but they are openly a Nazi, and I think at this point they aren't joking about this, and are doing this unironically.
Yeah, I think that person isn't. I'll be real. I don't think he, she, whatever does. I'll be real. I mean, she straight up says the N word with the hard R.
At this point, at least to my knowledge, unless they're playing the long game of 4D chess, which is a terrible game, and their VTuber avatar is Hatsune Miku dressed in full SS gear and going by the name Nachisu Miku, and sharing most of the rhetoric that one would expect from someone identifying as a Nazi.
Listen up, you filthy take.
I saw that clip, I was like, bro, ain't no way. Well, however, I have to say, people wanted to hear that. People were like, oh, she isn't going full evil, right? She can't even say the slur properly. And then he was like, yep, I'm steering on Rumble, let's go. That was literally, bro.
A Q-tip for once in your goddamn life and clean your fucking ears. And listen up. We gotta send all the niggas back to Africa. Total death. F all you stupid niggas. I want you out of my country.
With many controversial tweets, and some are just straight up posts.
Bro, that's crazy. And now hearing it a second time, that's wild. It is.
I don't know why, but this kind of reminds me of that one Black Templars meme.
No, you German boy! Don't join the Black Templars!
Oh mein Gott! Der Codex Astartes ist
ein Bunch of Bullscheiße.
She does in fact clarify.
It's crazy. Hey, could be worse. Could be worse. Hey, at least she doesn't justify this.
Later on, as a Nazi, she doesn't agree with killing people, but she does agree with everything else and Nazi ideology, and clarifies she is not joking. And she also goes on to defend some of our other members, saying she is the only one that believes this line of thinking, and just because she's in a group of people does not mean they fully believe the same thing she does, simply due to association, and that they all believe things differently but can still somewhat coexist together, which I assume is to deter people thinking that the other members are Nazis as well, and that they don't believe exactly what she believes, which was sort of proven true a bit later on. But yeah, we got a Nazi VTuber.
Yeah, they don't agree with it at all. They don't agree with it.
Before a VTuber that is just pure foreskin. Wouldn't have imagined it. As said before, this group got a lot of attention overnight, primarily due to the name of the group and one of them being a Nazi, but they were pushed to the forefront of discussion in the VTubing community just from their announcement tweet alone, which may have been their intention from the start, as their group has stated in the past, stating with this group they intend.
Well, technically, this isn't the full backstory, so this full thing started when, with Akemi and, Pogger's shop, whatever it was called, something like that, dropping her for her opinion on certain topics, and, mostly trans-related, and since then, she's got a lot of support. They also went after, the T-Man, I think Dragon's Tea, something like that. I forgot the name. I would need to look that up. Basically, they also tried then to go after him after he started sponsoring her and giving her an affiliate and stuff. So this actually started with Akemi being harassed. That's pretty much where this actually originated from.
To push social norms, which they have seemingly succeeded with fresh out of spawn. They received both backlash and some degree of support with an increase in viewership across most of their channels from this, but then again we've only talked about just one member. What about the other people a part of the group? The other members are Kami Kurai, Shirwan Kitsune Nines, and Saturn Senshi. First you have Akemi, who initially debuted on October 13th, 2023, and is a vampire cat who had some restrictions applied to their Discord account after breaking the rules, which I've personally never seen before. They are seemingly the leader or the founder of VTards, and as said before, just because they're in a group with Red Miku, it doesn't mean they share the same ideology as they've stated themselves.
That was the plan, right, of this entire group, like, not sharing the same views, but still being able to work together, in a way. Basically, like a sign, like a sign against what do you call it? Like against like censorship and like pro free speech, right?
But once again, as they warned in their first tweet announcing the group, they all mostly do the same thing. Most of them have opinions and controversial takes, with many labelling them transphobic, homophobic, and racist.
I mean, Kitsu, okay, we have her here. Said Islam as a religion is evil, and I'm disappointed that she's a Christian woman she tries to offend. First of all, that wouldn't be racist, so that needs a correction. So, that's the first thing. Well, and the Muslim problem is apparent in Europe. This is kind of true. This is true. Trans women are not biological women. That is true. And gay month is almost over. So.
And have angered one group or another, but that is essentially VTards, who are probably the most controversial VTubing group as of right now. If we were ranking them, they would probably be in Grandmaster by now, and they have most certainly achieved their goal of pushing against social norms with the amount of discourse they've caused, just in the VTubing space alone. Obviously, the only reason they are seeing so much attention is due to that controversial nature as a group, and without that, with the thousands of VTubers that exist, it would be hard for them to stand out individually, or even as a group. And if they intended this or not, this has put them in the spotlight as of right now, even though they've only existed for around a month, and there's a possibility it's just...
Also, let me look at that previous thingy. It's literally a VTuber called VTards, which is still funny. Their members are all ableist. I wouldn't say that. I've never seen anything ableist. Also, not all racist. Being against Islam is not racist. Sorry. Well, Miku would be, but that's regardless. Transphobic. Depends on what you consider that. I'm wrong for saying that retard is a slur against mentally disabled people. No more. No more. It has no longer been.
As of right now, even though they've only existed for around a month, and there's a possibility it's just very successful rage bait, and they might not believe what they preach. But even with this group only existing within a short time frame, it would already see some internal fighting.
Also, for Akemi, she has a reason why she acts this way, which is, as she explained, she has a history. She was once liberal, as far as I'm concerned, and basically, she spent time with freaks, and that put her off onto the track she is now. Like autogynephilic men who were weirdos.
So as said, after only existing at most a week, the group already had their own infighting, which was somewhat confusing to say the least, and led some people to assume the group was already crumbling apart. The conflict mainly centered around Shiro, who is a dog girl VTuber that debuted in July 18th, 2023. Now the thing with Shiro was she was a bit different from the rest. No, people still thought she was just as controversial as the other members, but apparently they were different in the way where they were the only one that thought the whole Red Miku thing was a little joke, a little whimsical comedy if you will, and they thought everything Red Miku was doing.
Yeah, I think... But Shiro also had some other problems, which she was, for lack of a better term, a bit lying.
Was satirical at best, which you would think before joining the group you would confirm such a thing, or at least learn a bit more about the people you are in a group with beforehand. But it seems the group and some of its members may have been just slapped together with duct tape, with some members not fully knowing each other, but that's just my game theory. But Shiro no longer wanted to be a part of the group after only a few days from their official debut tweet, but it doesn't end there, because for some reason they continue to talk about the situation when the following probably could have been handled privately, no matter the reputation of the group, and all hell proceeded to break loose, even though it probably already did once again. Red Miku. But even though Shiro could have left things there, said her piece and moved on, she continues by providing screenshots of Discord DMs between her and Miku where they would seem to be having a disagreement which would start a conflict labelled on Twitter, as the Red Miku versus Lolicon.
So is this a Lolicon versus Nazi fight I'm about to witness? I mean, it kind of was. It kind of was. I'm not a tourist. I'm just a planet in the solar system. I have the best rings. True. True. And the only one here in the solar system.
Conflict, where they were discussing an artist that made some really weird images of Anya from Spy X Family, and that's the nicest way of saying it, and Miku had a problem with it, of which Shira disagrees with them, and they remind them that they agree with Nazi ideology, but this is where they draw the line. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why they would leak these DMs except for worrying that they would be used against them later on, but it proceeds to—
Yeah, they were both not that smart. I'll be real. They were both not that smart for leaking those DMs. I think Shira probably leaked them.
Continue with the rest of the group siding with Miku and ultimately Shira leaving, and they uploaded a newer version of their group art without her. And what happens next is basically high school level drama, so prepare yourself. Saturn makes a tweet basically saying they wish them the best, of which Shira responds. The leader Akami apparently was talking bad about Shira after she left, of which Akami responded by saying, "You did it first." And then Shira attaches a screenshot where Akami is talking about her personal life. After Shira told her own fans not to do anything to the other members start to shit on her as well. And then Akami goes on to talk about how Shira talked badly about her BPD, and yeah, I'm fucking done at this point. It's basically like Chinese whispers. The fallout at this point was Shira left. People kind of laughed that the VTuber group was over, of which it wasn't. It's still running to this day, only one person left.
8 days since they
Well, now it's more accurate that it's only 3 people.
posted this, and they're already breaking apart. And then follows it up saying that muting this not as a statement, but for my own mental health. Please remember that behind the screen is a real person just like you. Think about that before you respond to people, which, God, the fucking irony, audacity, I don't even know. But the fact that you say this, you know, think about that before you respond to people. You know, there are real people behind the screen. You, of all people, are saying that.
People found it funny that for a group—
I'm definitely blocked by this person. 100%. I can already say I'm blocked by this person.
that was supposed to be so based or controversial would have their feelings hurt by someone talking about their BPD, with people expecting their tolerance to be somewhat higher. But in the current day, things have changed. Red Miku got banned off Twitter as of right now, and then just promptly made a new one. Akami was getting a lot of threats, so they protected their account, so you have to follow to see her tweets, which obviously you shouldn't do. You shouldn't fight fire with fire, especially if you disagree with these people in this group. But the group is functioning just as normal. They only lost one person.
Well, now it's 2. Nines dropped out of the group due to her being doxxed and threatened. So that's why she dropped out. That's what it is. That's pretty much what it is. They harassed her out of the group. Not the members, but other people. Like I said, she got doxxed. It is what it is. That's safety is then more important. Though she still talks the same she does. But yeah, Nines is a sweetheart. I like her. She's chill, and Saturn is chill too. Akimi can be a bit aggressive at times, and Miku's a lost cause. I'm sorry.
In conclusion, the forming of such a group was going to eventually happen anyway, and you've also had individual VTubers on the same level in the past. VTubing is a vehicle anyone can drive nowadays. It's probably a lot easier to be a VTuber now than it has ever been. There's countless artists out there that will create you a model for extortionate prices, and countless pieces of software made to now aid you in VTubing. Whereas around the start, most of this didn't exist, and thanks to this you now have a range of VTubers that without these facts also wouldn't exist, especially in the case of indie VTubers. VTubing has evolved and got so popular to the point where yeah, you are going to start seeing things like this, because that is relatively normal when a form of media gets so popular and easily accessible to do it yourself. And gatekeeping this medium won't help either. In regards to VTards, I may be crazy, but they are nowhere near done. I think some people are even requesting to join the group, but—
Well, I thought about signing the application, but I was like, yeah, Akimi would just pick girls, so I didn't do it.
They are still going, and who knows, maybe they will change their reputation around. The other members, I don't know about Red Miku. But yeah, that is just a small topic I wanted to talk about quickly. And if you remember this picture and the music that went along with it, you're old. Also, fuck you, Smugglana. No matter how many times I counter the claims, the misinformation on the femboy and fairy allegations persist. I hope you stub your toe. But yeah, that's all I wanted to—
Poor Alana. I love Alana. Smug Alana is also cool. I think she's great. So what do I think of the VTards? Shiro was a bit of a dumbass, I'm gonna be honest. Saturn is chill. There's no real issues with her. Nines is chill. There's no real issues with her. Akemi can be a bit aggressive, but I'm pretty neutral towards her. And Miku is a case for herself. That's pretty much it. I still like at least 3 of them. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.